What would you do if you walked into a police station asking for help, and ended up in handcuffs instead? This actually happened. And what came next shocked everyone in that room. Show me your documents. Now. The woman tried to respond, tried to explain herself, but her words hung in the air as the officer slammed her hand down on the counter. I said show me your documents now, she screamed, her finger jabbing just inches from the woman's face. The sharp crack of that shout echoed through the station lobby. Conversation stopped mid-sentence. Keyboards went silent. Chairs scraped across the floor as heads turned all at once. A heavy silence settled over the room, broken only by the persistent hum of fluorescent lights overhead. Please, I just came here to file a report, the woman said quietly, fighting to keep her composure. Don't speak unless I tell you to, the officer snapped back, shoving a form across the counter. You people are all the same. Always got some story ready to go. Cell phones were already coming out. A man near the back whispered something to his colleague. Another officer leaned against the wall with his arms crossed, watching with a half-smirk on his face. The humiliation was public, brutal, undeniable. I'm an American citizen, she tried again, her voice steady despite everything. I didn't ask you that, the officer shouted even louder. Show me your documents or you're leaving here in cuffs. The woman swallowed hard. Her hands trembled slightly as she clutched her purse against her body. She took a deep breath, the kind you take when you're fighting not to fall apart in front of strangers. Can I at least explain why I'm here? She asked, barely above a whisper. No. The answer came instantly. You can explain from a cell. Keep making this difficult and you'll see what happens. The atmosphere grew even heavier. An elderly woman shook her head in clear disapproval. A young officer looked away, obviously uncomfortable, but nobody stepped in. Nobody said a word. Here's what you need to know about her. Her name was Sarah Mitchell. She was 32 years old. She'd been living in Houston for years. She walked into that police station alone to file a simple incident report. Nothing illegal. Nothing suspicious. Nothing that should have led to this. Yet there she stood, being treated like a criminal. I just need to speak with a supervisor, Sarah said, gathering whatever courage she had left. A supervisor? The officer laughed out loud, her voice dripping with sarcasm. You're not in a position to ask for anything. That finger came up again, pointing, accusing. Her voice climbed even higher. Hands where I can see them. Now. Sarah obeyed slowly. Her heart pounded so hard she could hear it in her ears. Every second felt like an hour. The entire lobby was watching. I know my rights, she managed to say. Rights? The officer leaned over the counter, getting right in her face. You lost the right to speak the second you walked in here causing problems. One officer in the back muttered something into his radio. Another started typing rapidly on his computer. The tension in that room was like a wire pulled to its breaking point. This isn't necessary, Sarah said, her voice starting to crack. Cuffs, the officer ordered, turning to the side. Bring me the cuffs. That's when the entire lobby seemed to hold its breath. No, wait. Please? Sarah took a step back, panic finally breaking through. I said cuffs. The metallic click echoed through the space. People started murmuring. Someone let out an audible, "This is too much." Another person was recording openly now. Sarah tried to speak again, but she was cut off once more. You people don't know who you're dealing with. Silence. And then everything changed. The station door flew open with force. It wasn't a shout. It wasn't chaos. It was the sound of deliberate, commanding footsteps. Two men in dark suits walked in side by side, their eyes sharp, their posture rigid. Behind them came a third man, older, wearing an immaculate uniform. The noise died instantly. Where is she? The man in the middle asked, his voice low but cutting through the silence like a blade. The arrogant officer turned around, her face still flushed with anger. Who are you? This is a restricted area. The man didn't answer her. He walked straight to the counter and looked at Sarah. His eyes softened for just a moment. Are you okay? He asked her gently. The silence became absolute. The officer swallowed hard. Sir, this is standard procedure. I was just... The response came short and sharp. The man turned slowly. Everyone in that room recognized the badge clipped discreetly under his jacket. Colonel David Reynolds. State Department of Public Safety. Several officers went pale. And this woman, he continued, pointing toward Sarah, is Dr. Sarah Mitchell. Decorated military physician. She served in combat zones. She saved lives while others ran. The entire lobby seemed to freeze in place. The officer took a step backward. I didn't know, she stammered. That's exactly the problem, the colonel interrupted. You didn't ask. You didn't listen. You didn't respect. One of the agents rushed to the computer terminal, typing frantically. His face changed as he read the screen. Sir, her record is extensive. Commendations, humanitarian missions, multiple medals of honor. The officer went pale. Take off those cuffs, the colonel ordered. The metallic click sounded different this time, heavier, more shameful. Apologize, he added. The officer opened her mouth. No words came out. Now. I'm sorry, she mumbled, unable to make eye contact. Sarah took a deep breath and straightened her shoulders. I came here to file a report, she said finally, her voice steady and clear, and I was treated like I was nothing. The colonel nodded slowly. This ends today. Minutes later, the same officer who had been screaming was being escorted into another room for an internal investigation. The lobby remained absolutely silent. Nobody was filming anymore. Nobody dared to speak. Sarah was led toward the exit. Before she left, she turned back one last time. Respect isn't something you ask for, she said quietly. It's something you practice. Perhaps that was the moment everyone there would remember for the rest of their lives. The door closed behind her. And in that instant, every person in that station understood the lesson. Because authority without humanity becomes abuse. Because silence in the face of injustice makes you complicit. And because respect is the bare minimum, always. This story reminds us that dignity isn't negotiable. That assumptions can destroy lives. And that sometimes justice arrives exactly when it's needed most. If this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment telling us what you would have done in this situation, and let us know what city you're watching from. We're all in this together. Stay strong and we'll see you in the next episode.